Talk a little bit of weather now with Celine Stevens. Celine, I know it's pretty warm today, but hotter weather on the way, right?
Hotter weather tomorrow for one day before a cold front moves in, bringing us cooler temperatures over the weekend. But of course, the fire risk still remains for a lot of places as winds pick up. So there's a lot to it, exactly. But taking a look right now, live look at our sky camera at the Wells Fargo Tower, 81 degrees. We have finally broken into the 80s. We were holding on to 79 degrees for a while, but 81 degrees outside right now. And then looking at our sky camera over in the Dalles at the moment, you'll see 87 degrees in the Dalles, gusts 25 miles per hour. The Dalles is one of those areas that will also be seeing very strong wind speeds, especially Saturday afternoon. And so we'll talk about that in a moment. But hour by hour temperatures as we get later on into the evening, temperatures expected to hang out in the 80s for a couple more hours before we dip down to the 70s by around 8 p.m. and then 60s by around midnight. But here's where we're going. So tomorrow, hotter day. We're seeing temperatures peak in the upper 80s versus today. It looks like we're going to peak in the low 80s. We get to the weekend, cold front moves in, temperatures drop to the mid to upper 70s here in the Portland metro area, and will also be cloudy. We'll see some rain along the coast, northern Oregon coast specifically, and then also in southwest Washington. Slight chance of us seeing some shower activity here in Portland. That said, any rainfall totals we see will be minimal. So really, it'll just be more of a cloudy and slightly cooler weekend, which will be a nice break. Then we get into Sunday, and those clouds turn to sunshine by the afternoon. So overall, a pretty nice weekend. Again, a break from some of the heat we've been dealing with. Now, that fire weather watch continues, actually goes into effect on Saturday for a lot of central and eastern Oregon, including the Dalles. Right now, obviously, we of course have the air quality alert as well for a lot of areas in eastern and central Oregon due to the wildfire smoke that's in that area. That doesn't expire until tomorrow, but obviously we've seen this continue to be extended. That wildfire smoke continuing to spread, especially as the winds keep picking up and blowing in those directions. Also, the fire weather watch, as you can see, is very widespread for areas all the way from the Dalles over to Pendleton and, of course, down south as well, all the way as south as Bend. And so we're seeing this again on Saturday. That means critical fire weather conditions are forecasted, meaning this could very well be upgraded to a red flag warning in the next day or so. So looking at our wind speeds, this is why we have that fire weather watch. As you can see in the Dalles, for example, those wind speeds tonight, 27 miles per hour. As we get into Friday, another windy evening in the Dalles. And then as we get into Saturday, 38 mile per hour wind gusts. And that's not just in the Dalles. That's going to be in other areas too. We're going to see wind speeds that high in central and eastern Oregon. Even down near Bend, only 17 mile per hour wind speeds. But again, around that purple, that's where we're really seeing those stronger winds blowing from west to east on Saturday. And of course, that's really just more fuel to these fires that we've been dealing with. Looking at our air quality right now, pretty good in the Portland metro area. Down south, though, in Madras, they're seeing unhealthy air quality there. And then, of course, in eastern Oregon, also in that unhealthy air quality range. So something to keep in mind if you're headed to those areas. The air quality is not doing so well. Looking at our futurecast as we get into our Saturday, you can see the cloud coverage that we're going to be dealing with. There's that rain along the coast. I mean, even as far down as Newport, but really you'll see northern Oregon, southwest Washington. Here's our potential for those showers around 3 p.m. on Saturday, but it'll be very short-lived. By the time we get to Sunday, we start to dry up. We could see a little bit more of that shower activity returning along the coast, but really we will for sure be dry by Sunday, just with some clouds. And so here's our 7-day, 88 tomorrow, 77 on Saturday with the clouds and rain chance, 76 Sunday, and it looks like 90s returning yet again next week. We'll have more right after this break.